Something on there we don't want. One sec. There we go. Okay, let's get started. Today it's going to be just me. Kirk will not be joining us today. She's a little tired, a little exhausted, so she's going to relax. Today I'm going to be doing my rapid review over Aquaman to start. Went to go see that this weekend. Hear Me was actually there. So I'm going to give my thoughts on that, and then after we discuss that, it's going to be some Pokemon gameplay. But first, let's jump right in. There are not going to be serious spoilers in this. If you are worried about any type of information leaking or any type of spoilers that might ruin the movie for you, I don't think you have to worry about it, but proceed with caution. Okay? Let's just jump right in. I really liked it, and I'm going to start with the characters. Okay, so I'm going to break this down into characters, story, and entertainment. And I did entertainment because, you know, depending on the type of movie, the kind of kicker of the movie is different, right? Horror is going to be a little more suspense. It's going to, how can you get your heart rate up? Action movies are going to be action, obviously, and so on and so forth. So I went with entertainment. But we're going to start with characters, okay? And I actually gave characters an 8 out of 10 on this. I gave it an 8 out of 10 for a few reasons. One, the main character was awesome. They made Aquaman not super lame. And Aquaman is consistently the butt of all the jokes of the DC universe. And so the fact that they were able to do that, to actually make him a badass, that's quite funny. I think he's actually funnier than Flash or Spider-Man. I hate Spider-Man's humor. I thought Aquaman was a badass. So obviously as the protagonist, that's kind of a big deal. I thought the protagonist female character was amazing as well. Now, where I had my drawbacks and why it's an 8 out of 10 is because the secondary villain sucked. Acting-wise, didn't like him. Didn't think he did a very good job, especially in the first 1/5 of the movie. I think when you go see this, you're going to start off being like, why did he give the characters an 8 out of 10? These characters suck. And it's because the first fifth of the movie isn't very good. It's not very good. It starts off really slow. A lot of the cinematography is a little janky. And his character, this particular individual's character, never really develops. I'm not going to go too much into it, but that was a disappointment. The main villain I thought was solid. Didn't love it, didn't hate it. Supporting casts were not overly developed the way I would like them to be, but they weren't horrible either. Overall, I think when you're looking at a movie, you have to make sure your protagonist is awesome. That's obviously the most important part. Your main villain is strong. The main villain was strong, not amazing, but strong. And then your secondary protagonist is awesome, which I also thought was awesome. So I gave it an 8 out of 10. Next up, we have story. Story, I went 6 out of 10. You're going to get what you expect with a superhero movie, okay? Especially when it's a DC Marvel movie. They all follow the same script, pretty much, guys. It's introduce character. Character has some upbringing that provides some type of character. Character has some type of upbringing that provides some type of character for them. And then that character resonates with them until there's a call to action. They rise up to the challenge with that call to action. Typically, they fall short. Then there's some type of supporting cast that pulls them back to it, or there's some type of additional call to action that causes them to rise up and for their character to be revealed. And then they rise to the challenge and defeat the challenge. And that is essentially what you're going to get here. It's a superhero movie. It's following the same plot as all the other superhero movies. So I can't give it a great rating there. But it's kind of what you're going to expect out of these type of movies, right? Nevertheless, I still went 6 out of 10, which is actually still a pretty solid score. Because, again, they made Aquaman not lame. And that still deserves some credit. You can't rate it as average. You can't rate it as below average. You have to give the director and the writers, the screenwriters, credit for making him maybe the most badass character in the DC universe thus far. Maybe. Arguably. So I went 6 out of 10 on that. What about entertainment? So entertainment, I went 9 out of 10. In the beginning, when you watch this movie, it takes a little bit of getting used to with the water action, just the way that they move and the way that they interact with each other, the way that their hair kind of flows and so on and so forth. And it takes a little bit of getting used to, similar to Avatar. Okay, so if you've seen the movie Avatar, if you like that movie, same type of deal. When you start off watching, it takes a little bit to sink in, but once it does, it's free-flowing. It's free-flowing, and you forget it's there, and oh my god, some of the fights in that movie were amazing. Just amazing. The fact that they were in water, and you forget that they're in water. So not really forget, but more don't mind at all that they're in water, and the action was semi-realistic slash not over the top slash also really cool slash some 300 scenes. I don't know. I really enjoyed the way that they went about what you're going to get from an action movie entertainment-wise. And I use the word entertainment because that depends on the movie, right? So here in a superhero movie, I'm looking for some badass action. I'm looking for something that, oh, you know, you look at there, you're like, oh, you nudge your buddy, you know, next to the seat next to you, nudge and be like, you see, yeah, like that's what you're gonna get from this movie. I thought it was really well done. So I with all that being said, 9 out of 10. I'm not gonna harp on it for too long. And now we're gonna jump straight to the final verdict, guys. You could probably I have no idea what that says, Tom. You could probably guess what I'm going to give it. Don't ruin it, hear me, because I know that you already know what it is. I went 8 out of 10. I went 8 out of 10 for my final verdict. For me, that's actually a really high score, especially when it comes to a superhero movie. I didn't like the Spider-Man movies. I haven't liked Spider-Man for a while. Batman, the old Batman movies were great. Superman always falls flat. Let's see. The Avengers, to me, suck. I wouldn't even give the event... I don't think I've given a single Avengers movie an 8. I don't think any of them have gotten past a 7. So for me, this was actually a really high score. This is equal to, like, Deadpool. I thought Black Panther was well done. I actually like this more than Black Panther. I would say superhero movies-wise, this is in my top 5. This is in my top 5, not being biased. Really well done. 8 out of 10, like I said, is pretty high for me. That is going to get my seal of approval. Anything that's 8 or higher is worth going to the movie theater for. It's one of those things that it's worth seeing before the hype is gone. I would go now. I think this movie is worth going now, and I would definitely check it out with friends. So, hey, 404, thank you for the host. So, I think a lot of people, and I'm going to transition now to our next topic, which is DC able to compete with Marvel? Can this 8 out of 10 ranking that Monumental has given them, is that enough to push them into competition with Marvel? The answer is no, but not for the reason that you probably think. Most of you are consistently harping on DC for the wrong reason. You're harping on DC because they came after Marvel. You're harping on them because they can't make a good Superman movie. Those are all the wrong reasons, okay? The reason DC movies started off as crap was because Green Lantern didn't get them off to a good start. Okay, let's be honest with that. The Green Lantern movies were trash. Second of all, you can't make a movie for Superman. You just can't. He's a god, and he's the leader of the DC universe. He's the leader of the Justice League, and you can't make a movie for him. And so if you can't make a movie for the lead character of your universe is going to suffer. I think that is the reason why DC has suffered. That among a couple of them I'm talking way more so than the fact that they came in later, way more so than the fact that their movies just sucked. I mean, you can't make a movie for Superman. Why did we love Batman? Why did we love The Dark Knight? It's because Batman was relatable. The Batman movie, Batman's more relatable. You can make a movie for Batman because you can make villains for Batman. You can make a plot that makes sense for Batman. You can't make a plot that makes sense for Superman. I.e., Batman versus Superman. Made no freaking sense. Are you serious? Batman versus Superman? That's a joke, okay? In the movie, but some of you may have seen it, there's a part where Superman says, if I wanted you dead, you'd be dead already. That movie in reality would be shorter than the freaking trailer. Superman would fly at the speed of light up into outer space, sneeze, blow up the planet, and Batman would die. And that's the end of it. It would be shorter than the trailer. Okay? But you can't. Then obviously you have no movie, and so they don't do that for Superman. They have to nuke him to make him even somewhat able to compete with anybody. I mean, you know what would have been a good matchup for Superman? Thanos. They should have just done Superman v Thanos instead of Avengers v Thanos. That would have made sense. But again, I think DC can't compete with Marvel. They can't. But it's not because their characters aren't good enough. It's not because the movies suck per se. I mean, they do. The Superman movies suck. But, you know, Snyder gets a bad rep for those movies. I don't think it's Snyder's fault. I think it's Superman's fault. I think Superman's too damn OP to make a movie for him. I think that's what it is. I think DC can compete with Marvel. Oh, one more thing. You're looking at this the wrong way. You're looking at DC v Marvel as movies versus movies. And that's total BS. You're forgetting about comics. You're forgetting about animated series. You're forgetting about animated movies. You're forgetting about games. Have you played the Dark Knight games? Video games? Have you played those Batman games? Those Batman games are badass. What do you have for Marvel? You have that new Spider-Man movie or Spider-Man game, and that's it. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. And you think DC is trailing? DC's not trailing. They're just behind in movies because their main character is a god. Y'all got it all wrong. This movie was great. You need to see Aquaman. You need to see it as soon as possible. It's worth seeing. I think a lot of people are going to harp on it. Actually, I don't. I think the majority of people are going to like it, or at least be surprised by it, because, again, it's Fishboy. And everybody wants to make fun of Fishboy in the DC universe, but they can't here. You can't, especially when he comes out in his golden green. He doesn't look dorky. He looks like a badass. He really does. I think you guys are going to like this movie. I think you guys need to reevaluate the way that you see DC versus Marvel. I do think the Marvel movies are better. On average, I think Avengers are trash. They're trash. But I think on average, the Marvel movies are better, and that's fair. I am a DC guy, because I'm a Superman guy. But I don't think the gap is as large as you think it is. The question, though, was, is DC able to compete with Marvel? The answer in terms of movies is no. The answer when you look at a big picture is absolutely. In fact, I think DC has the overall edge if you take all the other genres and categories into consideration, which most people don't in this discussion. So that is where I'm at with the DC universe. Actually, you know what? One more thing before I transition, because my mind's like going 1,000 miles per hour with this damn thing. Wonder Woman 1 and 2, good movies. This new Aquaman movie, good movie. All the Batman movies, the Dark Knight trilogy, as Tater sang, good movies. There were 3 of those, right? I think 3? All good movies. Not all great movies, but all good movies, right? Drawback, you have Green Lantern. Fair. Green Lantern sucked. Drawback, you have the Superman movies. Fair, but he's a god, right? I think DC's getting the short end of the stick. I don't think you're giving them the credit that they deserve. I think you're hoeing DC. I don't think you're really thinking about this big picture. What great Marvel movies do we have? Deadpool, totally fair. Avengers, suck. Avengers suck, man. Spider-Man, don't like them. Guardians of the Galaxy, great. Right? Marvel, I think, has more movies too, and so they have a lot to choose from. I do think Marvel has a slight edge, but DC's catching up. 2 Wonder Womans that were good in a row. Aquaman that was good. So they've had 3 movies in a row. And I think the new Batman is going to be good. So just keep that in mind next time someone tries to hit you with that Marvel versus DC garbage. Okay? And if anything, make sure you pull in the comics, the video games, and the animated series / movies. Because DC's winning those. Okay? Alright, now it is time to wrap this puppy up and do our follower forum. So for those who are watching, we did not get a topic this week for our follower forum. So for those of you who don't know what that is, at the end of each episode of Push to Talk, I want to give the opportunity for followers to, well, provide any type of topic they want me to speak on, or to harp on, or to be pushed to talk on. So if there's anybody in chat that wants to discuss one of those things, let me know. If not, I'm going to destroy Fallout 76 here in like 60 seconds. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to do that. I'm going to give you the opportunity to come up with a topic here. And while you do that, I'm going to pull up this video that I will be using to destroy Fallout 76, which has just been a disaster in my mind. Fair enough, I was just thinking movies to movies, says Tater. Let's talk about cheesecake, says Hear Me. Give me an actual topic and I'll talk about it. Not cheesecake. I do love cheesecake, but we're not going to do cheesecake. Tater, fair enough, I was just thinking movies to movies, and that's a fair, I think it's fair to say the Marvel movies have been better, but DC is also playing catch-up. Let's see. I'm going to give it, as soon as this video is done pulling up, I'm going to run with my Fallout 76. So I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to get that set. Otherwise, I'm going to roll with this Fallout 76 destruction. Some of y'all may have actually heard that in my last video, but I didn't. I was with Kirk on that, on episode 2 of Push to Talk, and she liked it, and I felt bad plowing into her and Fallout 76 at the same time. So, all right, let's see. No. All right, then we're gonna roll with this. Let's see. Okay, so Fallout 76. I don't know if you've played it or not. I don't know if you've watched it or not. I hope you haven't. I hope you've done neither. Honestly, for your sake, this game is a load of dog trash. Last episode, on episode 2 to Push to Talk, we did our top 10, our end of the year awards, right? And biggest disappointment of the year for me, 2018. Am I playing? No, I'm not playing. I would never buy that game. Hear me. Hey, Kamizi, what's up? I would never buy that game. I ain't playing that garbage. No, I'm destroying it by harping on it. That game was my biggest disappointment of 2018. It was awful. I'm a huge Fallout guy. It had a lot of hype behind it. I didn't like the idea originally of the giant multiplayer universe anyway, but I said, okay, you know what, it's Fallout, it's Bethesda, I'll give it a chance. That game is like my cat's litter box. I prefer my cat's litter box to that game. Let's start with the multitude of issues. Let's just jump right in to all the issues I have with Fallout 76. How the hell do you not have Push to Talk? Again, I already did this a little bit last episode, but I'm so infuriated with this damn game, I had to give it 2 days. How do you not have Push to Talk to start? Who created this game? Who's like, you know what? You know what? Hey, Bob. Hey, Bob. You know what's a great idea, Bob? What, man? What's a great idea? I think we should remove Push to Talk, and instead, we should just put it where you can talk. They can hear you all the time. Oh, that's a great idea. That's very immersive, Bob. That's a great idea. Okay, let's do that. You know what I heard when I was watching other streamers play? Because I was not buying this freaking game. You know what I heard? I heard babies in the background. I heard girlfriends and wives and husbands saying, hey, you know, it's time to eat, or dinner's here, or something along the lines of food. I heard dogs barking. This is your immersion? This is your idea of immersion? Is I have to hear babies crying in my post-apocalyptic wasteland? I have to hear, honey, dinner's ready, in my post-apocalyptic wasteland? That was the first mistake you made. I don't know how the hell you forget to put Push to Talk in a multiplayer game. The hell kind of universe you live in. The next thing is, have you seen the God bug? They recently had a God bug. This guy discovered it, where basically he just couldn't die. He just literally became a god and would just run through everything and couldn't die. We've had servers drop. We've had light issues. We've had drop frames where you'll be walking down the street and stuff will just start to freaking depixelate. Are you serious, Bethesda? Are you serious? This is the oh no, we're gonna patch it. We're gonna patch it. No, maybe, but you wanted our pre-order money first. You wanted. I have to transition to that. If you pre-order games, and you are not 100% positive this game is going to be good, you are part of the problem. You are part of the problem because companies know they can take your money. They can take your money without providing shit for you to get. They can do that. And they'll make their bottom line. And they'll make their profit margins. They'll do that because they know you'll pre-order the game. And that's what Bethesda did. They hoed you. They bent you over backwards without your consent, and they took it to you. Because you pre-ordered it. That was your first mistake. Always watch a little bit of the content unless you are 100% sure that this is a game that you know is going to be good. And I don't really know how you're 100% sure. Ever. The fort building system? I have no interest in that. There's no reason to. It's the same engine as Fallout 4. It's the same engine, guys. The same exact. Speaking of the engine that made the game is from the 90s. It's from the. I'm almost as old as that. I may be slightly older, I think, than the engine that made that game. Are you serious? My God. The audio tapes. I don't want to listen to a bunch of audio tapes. And to make it worse, if you're going to force me to listen to audio tapes, don't have them freaking overlapping each other while I'm trying to listen to one. The system to rewind, fast forward, pause, transition from tape to tape is trash. If you're going to force me to have that be the only way I can get a story out of your damn game, at least allow me to manipulate it. Oh my God. Let me take a second. I'm about to play this video, but I'm going to take a second to look at chat. I love Fallout. I played 76 for a bit and gave it a fair try. I really don't like it. More cons than pros. I don't think it's close, bro. I would disagree with you, says Hear Me. I played a lot when it came out, and I didn't have any babies crying or dogs barking or anything like that. Yeah, well, that's another issue. Wasn't this... Well, I'm going to bring that up. Here's probably why you didn't hear it. Each one, you jump into a server, right? We know how this works. Each server, I forget how many people, but it's like less than 100 per server. Just to keep it... Wasn't this game supposed to be like a mass multiplayer game? The whole server is dead because you have a giant area to explore, but nothing really to explore because everything is dead, and you have less than 100 people on your server, and all you have is audio tapes and no NPCs and nothing to interact with. You're just running around grabbing up shit from different houses. So you may not have heard any babies crying or dogs barking or anything like that, but that's also because you probably only saw 5 people. Awful, man. Absolutely awful. Alright, I'm going to run this video, so you're going to miss my face. This is going to be Co-Carnage, just going to 60 seconds. My favorite streamer, personally. This dude, if you haven't watched him before, you should, number 1. And number 2, he's like the most positive guy in the world. One of the most positive dudes in the world. He loves every game. He even blocks out non-subs sometimes if they're being too negative. He has friends that work at Bethesda. So I'm going to give him 60 seconds, this extremely successful, well-spoken streamer, 60 seconds to destroy this game, and then I'm going to be back.
Out the door and lock it behind them and tell them to like go get lunch, and then when they come back, just clean up. It takes basically zero thought to understand that whoever made that decision should never be allowed to make decisions about multiplayer decisions again at Bethesda. Like anyone involved with the push to talk debacle of 2018 should be removed from that part of Bethesda game making, and not allowed back in. Like push them out the door and lock it behind them and tell them to like go get lunch, and then when they come back, just clean out their cubicle and act like they never worked there. So I don't know, man. Like, whew, it really is just they should never be allowed to make games, at least multiplayer games. Calm down, it's not that bad. Well, you say that. You say that. But here's the thing. I fundamentally believe that making decisions like that are not only going to lose Bethesda money, but they're going to lose Bethesda fans. So it is that bad. When your job is to make games for your fans, and you have people that actively don't understand your fan base that are apparently making major decisions in the game, it's kind of that bad.
Yeah, it's kind of that bad. It is that bad. This game is that bad. And is it the worst game ever? No. Bethesda still made it. Did it still hit the market and make lots of money? Yeah. Bethesda still made it. Is it the biggest disappointment of 2018? Bet your ass it is. That game is a pile of cat poop. I know because I have a cat. I can attest to that. It is garbage. And that is why I will never buy it. So that is my harp on Fallout 76. That is my follower forum for today since we didn't have another topic. I had to get another jab. Had to get another jab at Fallout 76. That pissed me off. But that is going to be all for the show today. I am about to switch over to Pokemon, actually. We got to finish that baby up. Hey, man, what's up? What's up, Warjay? How's it going? So I'm going to switch over. Thank you guys for watching. This is going to be uploaded to YouTube and to the Discord and all that good stuff. Before we go, I'm going to extend an invitation to our Discord, to those who are here now, who may not be in the Discord, because I want you guys to join our lovely community. And for those of you who liked Fallout 76, I'm not sorry. I'm not. I feel sorry for you, but I'm not sorry. No, Tony. Oh, Warjay, no, you're good, man. You're good. You're fine. I got a big mouth. Don't worry about it. Yes, Tater, we're about to play some Pokemon, man. If you haven't joined the Discord, hit the Discord button there. Go ahead and join our community. It's the Motivation Militia. I do got to catch them all, Tater, so I'm going to actually hop off here to put it into Be Right Back. All I'm going to do is set up the Switch, and then we're going to be rolling. So I hope you guys stick around and go ahead and click that Discord link and join our lovely community. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will be